Welcome to Horror Dreams *. There are towns in Texas that died slow deaths, fading with time. And then there are towns like Navarro that didn't die. They were drowned. In 1963, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers built the Navarro Mills Dam to prevent flooding in central Texas. In doing so, they buried farmlands, cemeteries, churches, and what remained of the town of Navarro. Officially, the town was cleared, but locals tell another story, that not all the graves were moved, that not everyone left, and now, beneath the quiet surface of Navarro Mills Lake, something whispers. David Mathis grew up in Dawson, just a few miles from Navarro Mills Lake. 1989. His older brother Daniel went missing during a late-night fishing trip on the lake. His boat was found adrift. His tackle was untouched. The engine is still running. They never found his body. David was 13. He never got over it. In 2022, after decades of silence, David returned. He wasn't a kid anymore. He was a researcher, a documentarian, a camera, an underwater drone, and an obsession. He told friends he was filming a series on Texas's forgotten dead, but he only cared about one place, Navarro Mills Lake. David camped on the southern edge of the lake, where the original Navarro town center supposedly sat beneath 20 feet of water. At 2:14 a.m., while reviewing drone footage, he heard something behind his tent. Not footsteps, something else, like water dripping from nothing. He turned on his recorder, a whisper, soft, female, one word, Daniel. He ran outside. The lake was still. Then his radio turned on by itself, static. Then a voice, his own brother's voice. Dave, don't dive. But the voice was wrong, hollow, like it had passed through water. David slept in his truck that night. David interviewed several locals, farmers, anglers, and old-timers who remembered the flood. One man, 82-year-old Earl Jenkins, gave the most chilling account. They didn't move all the graves, just the big ones. There are bones down there, people too poor to count. Some nights you'll see lights under the water, like lanterns, and sometimes, if the wind dies, you'll hear bells. Ain't been a church bell down there since 63. Another woman who grew up nearby claimed she saw a man walk into the lake during a sunset baptism in the 70s and simply vanish. No ripples, no bubbles. Gone. The town wasn't dead. It was waiting. On day 3, David launched his underwater drone near the deepest area of the lake, where locals believed the church had once stood. At 22 feet, visibility was nearly zero, silt and blackness. Then the sonar picked up a structure, a wall, then a door frame, then a bell tower, partially collapsed, covered in moss, but real. David whispered to his camera. They built over a town and left it to rot. I'm staring at a church underwater. Then the drone feed cut out, and over his headphones he heard chanting, soft, slow, voices underwater, but clear. His name was spoken again. David. He pulled the drone up. It never came back. David couldn't resist. He dove in the next morning. He wore a GoPro, flippers, and a weighted belt. His body cam, later recovered, shows the descent. At 17 feet, everything becomes darker. At 20 feet, he sees the church's steeple. At 23 feet, he stops, hovering in place, not moving. His breathing slows. Then he mutters something under his mask. I see them. The video shakes. Something moves past the lens. Not a fish. Not a shadow. A hand-grade cage reaches from the mud, then static. David's body was recovered 3 days later, on the opposite end of the lake, still wearing his gear. But the GoPro was gone. Asterisk, 3 weeks later, a park ranger found a sealed bag washed up at the edge of the lake. Inside, a damaged cassette recorder, a journal, a Polaroid. Bell tower, underwater. Glowing blue, the tape plays only one thing. Waves, wind. Then a chorus of whispers. Stay, stay with us. You were always ours. And then silence. In his journal, David had written only one sentence before diving. If you hear the bell, it's already too late. Since David's death, more reports have surfaced. Fishermen hear hymns over the lake at dawn. Children report people smiling beneath the water. A kayaker disappeared after claiming he heard bells at sunset. One man posted drone footage, showing figures standing beneath the water's surface, unmoving, watching, fading when approached. Navarro wasn't just flooded. It was sacrificed, and whatever was buried beneath it refuses to rest. Locals won't fish there, camp there, even talk about it, because they know the town is still there, and it's not done collecting. You can still visit Navarro Mills Lake. You can camp. You can swim. You can listen. But if you hear voices, if the water starts to shimmer with blue light, and if you hear your name whispered just beneath the surface, do not answer, because the town never drowned, and it's been waiting just for you. Fade out with the sound of faint church bells and whispering.